in part believe she is a victim. That is different from some of my counterparts, and it upsets people that I say that. But she wasn't harmed. She was in the house when this happened, so that does make her a victim of at least a burglary or a robbery. But it doesn't make her a victim of a homicide. So she is definitely a witness to the crimes that happened against her roommates. She is definitely that. She is definitely a victim of a burglary of an occupied dwelling. That, I give her that. She is definitely a victim of that. So, yes, she is a witness to a homicide and a victim of a robbery.
I'll give you this definition from Cornell Law School. As used in this subpart, crime victim or victim of crime means a person who has suffered physical, sexual, financial, or emotional harm as a result of the commission of a crime. Someone is guilty of a robbery if he steals from a person using force or makes them think force will be used. Burglary means illegal entering a property in order to steal property from it.
The facts of the case are the facts of the case. You know, as the only people, in all fairness, that put the target on Dylan Mortensen's back is Dylan Mortensen, in my opinion. She should have called the law enforcement. Now, granted, that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to bash over a victim. These are conversations that we have to have because they are going to be brought into the court record. They are going to be discussed as part of the trial. Believe that. And she has given the defense a huge opportunity, huge 8-hour window to fill with a whole bunch of doubt, to poison the jury pool. Nobody did that for her. She did that all by herself. So this, I feel that some people have bleeding hearts, and they don't hold people accountable because they feel bad for them. Okay, I'm not a feel bad for them type of person. Okay, I feel bad for them, yes, but at the end of the day, they made their own decision. They made their own bed. If I woke up tomorrow and made a poor decision for myself, who is ultimately responsible for that poor decision? Is it the haters that pick up on that poor decision and blast it all over YouTube? Or is it from me? If I make a poor decision that is blasted all over YouTube, and by the way, I have, in all fairness, Trigger Happy, I have no pity for anybody because I have been raked through the mud and had to do it with a smile on my face. I am a victim as well. I'm a victim of SA. I'm a victim of abuse from a child, and none of my haters can sit there and say I brought the abuse on myself. I was a kid. Do you think I get pity from people out there on YouTube for the life I lived? Of course not. But they have no problem clubbing me over the head every time I make a mistake. They can't even spell tragedy while they're trying to insult me and call me a tragedy pimp. But me saying October as opposed to November when I'm talking and didn't realize I said October, trust me, there's 15 freaking videos on my mistake. So, of all people, I'm not the emotional, feel-good, pity person. I don't pity anybody. She's an adult. She made a decision, and she has to live with that decision. Target on her back. That's not what they did. Those are facts of the case. That's not putting. You can't say we need facts and then complain that we have facts because I put the target. She did this to her. Like, she made those decisions. Guys, I mean, let's be honest. If we're going to have an adult conversation about this, let's be honest. Nobody told her to wait 8 hours to call law enforcement after seeing a masked intruder in her home and somebody whimpering literally in the room next door. Nobody told her to do that. Nobody put that target on her back. Kids make poor decisions and they have to deal with them. I had a friend in high school that made a poor decision with his best friend to go out to Rye Road and drink. His best friend never made it back. He spent 10 years in jail, okay? 10 years in jail for that.
John Acosta is who you're speaking of. And he sucker punched and then curb stomped a kid to death. I think he was like 16. And he got 10 years. Yeah, a coward that you're saying made a mistake. It's not a mistake when you sucker punch someone.
Do you think that people pitied him for making a poor decision? I don't live in an emotional world. I live in a factual world, a realistic world. When we start saying that it's somebody else's fault for the actions of this person, at the end of the day, it's facts of the case. They have to come out. There's no target on anybody's back. They have to do their job. Dylan made this decision for herself. That's something she's going going to have to live with. Nobody made that decision for her. Nobody. And I know it hurts some people's feelings to hear me talk like that, but it is what it is. I can't go back and change those facts. Right? Would we have liked Dylan to have done things differently? Of course we would. You know, do I feel bad that she's going through a lot of stuff that she shouldn't be? Of course I do. But at the end of the day, we didn't do that to her. Brian Koberger did. Brian Koberger put her in the middle of this. But the flip side of it is if he'd known she was in that room, she could have probably been dead too. She should be thankful. If this is what she has to deal with for a small period of time because she has her life, this is the worst it's going to get for her, she's doing pretty stinking good. This too shall pass. But don't blame people for talking about stuff and putting a target on. Nobody put a target on her back. And if you want to blame anybody for it, blame Brian Koberger, because he's the one that put her in this position. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. None of our audience did it. None of our audience told her to wait 8 hours before calling 911 either. Nobody put a target on her back. If anybody is to blame for any of this, it is Brian Koberger. If anybody's going to blame about the gap of window as to why there is now a defense for Brian Koberger, that would be Dylan Mortensen. Those are facts. Those are facts that we cannot dispute and that cannot be unchanged.